World's finest musicians, artists, comics.
When do they get me?
They're already here. Come on. And how we do this show is I will pull topics out of a bucket about music and art and all that, and we decide if it passes or fails the Dresch Code, meaning do we want to talk about it? Pass? Fail? No, we don't want to talk about it. So yeah.
Do we have to do that thumbs up or thumbs down?
If we want to, if that's the easier method.
Let's do it.
Oh yeah. So before we get started, I'd like to go around the round table or round couch and introduce everyone. From Lucas with the K, we've got Adam Othier, David Naylor, Brian Middleton, and Anthony Muller. Thank you guys for being here.
Absolutely.
And it's
ours.
going to be a fun episode. So shall we dive straight into the Dresch Code?
Let's do it.
All right. I shaked it up a little bit, like the cars would say. And let's see. First question. TV shows that you're embarrassed to admit that you've watched. Pass. We'll talk about it.
Talk about it.
Let's talk about it. Ridiculousness on MTV. That one show where they just watch. It's basically just watching YouTube videos.
I'll watch anybody getting hurt online. I mean, I don't like seeing people get seriously hurt, but it's funny seeing people get hit in the nuts and hurt. So yeah, no, that's.
See, it was just kind of on one day, and I would just flip it around. I was watching it. It's whatever. But it's one of those things. Like I would appreciate the show more if the comments were more clever.
Right.
But all they
the commentary is horrible.
Yeah, all they say is, "There's no way that could happen." Yeah, it is. That they friggin' got kicked in the nuts. That's how that happened.
There's video evidence of it. You're watching it.
Right.
or they'll play something and then that Rob
Diedrich or Diedrich.
Dirty.
Dirty. Yeah,
just goes crazy and you're like, it wasn't that funny.
No. He got thrown.
He's obviously doing something right because he was still the host.
That's very true.
Yeah.
Very true.
He got a Scrabble piece thrown in his face. No way that could happen. Yeah, it could. Freaking moron. Trying to think of other ones. Saved by the Bell. I loved Saved by the Bell.
There's no need to be embarrassed.
That was a generation. Everybody grew up watching.
Yeah, it's pretty mainstream.
We all watched it.
Richard Bell.
And it's like he got
huge.
He would show up. He would show up at Zach Morris's house unannounced. Like,
I think that's illegal. Like,
probably at this point.
Yeah.
There's a great YouTube montage of the hey, what is going on here? If you haven't seen it, you should look it up. It's fantastic.
I have not seen it.
It's like 10 minutes of that. It gets old after the first like 4 or 5 minutes, but it's still worth watching. Absolutely.
The Zach Morris is trash on Funny or Die.
Oh, that's good.
That's
That's really good.
Yeah.
What about you?
Shit, I don't know, man. I watch British comedy and murder mysteries. Trying to be educated, but no. I mean,
the IT Crowd was one that I jumped on pretty late, but that show is fantastic on Netflix.
I don't think I've ever seen
Oh,
it.
it's...
Yeah. I know who's in it, but I don't think I've ever
good.
watched it.
Just basically like 3 awkward, introverted people working in an IT department. That's the show. But
remember
glorious.
When I was in high school, my sister watched Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Oh, yeah.
And I always gave her so much shit for it. And then I married somebody that loves that show, and so I had to watch all of it.
Yeah.
I kind of like it.
Yeah.
So that'd probably be mine.
See, I'm a person that loves the first 3 years of Buffy, and then when I went to college, that the show had no direction anymore. In my personal opinion.
So it's kind of like college in real life.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
they knew where they were going with it.
I can try to find older people to buy me beer, and then I can just go to school if I want to.
A chilling portents of things to come.
Now you're just like, what?
It's like, he's not going to call me back. Like, you got to kill vampires, so shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
That lost me after the original movie.
Oh,
yeah.
Original movie's great.
Yeah.
Paul Rubens. God.
Anything with Rutger Hauer in it is it's worth watching.
Yeah.
He's been in like 100 million movies.
Luke Perry. I think we're gonna do a T-shirt with him, right?
Luke's. This is gonna be the 3 Lucases.
Yeah.
Every one of them holding an AK.
Yeah.
Paul Rubens does have the best death as a vampire, though. Just
yeah.
Can also double as a porn sound.
Yeah.
Same sound he was making when he got arrested. I'm sure.
I don't know.
While we're on Pee Wee, can we talk about how awesome Lawrence Fishburne was on Pee Wee's
Oh,
Playhouse?
Good old
Cowboy
Larry.
Curtis.
Yes.
Yeah.
Good job, Larry.
Calvin Curtis.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Okay,
Bruce.
we've lost everybody under 25. Right? Maybe we should move on.
Brian.
That's
a
the number
whole
of
band.
viewers dropped
Yeah.
by 16 just then.
Yep.
That's our whole band. Anybody under 25 is like, who the fuck are these guys?
Yeah.
I'm at 25, so it's kind of like,
There.
is it before 25 or is 25 this age that counts?
Probably
as well?
the cutoff.
You're the day walker at
You're
this
sick.
point.
Yeah,
I'm the
You're the swing
I'm
vote.
the
You're
mediator.
straddling. Yeah, there you go.
I'm the mediator between
You're
the
straddling the line.
two. Yeah. I'm the mediator that balances between the two.
Yeah.
Like, hey guys, I'm the one that's the
Day
messenger.
walker.
See, our crew, our like, our main people are like mid-50s women.
And that's all your fault.
Yeah.
Because you find them all on Facebook. And they're like, oh, okay, cool.
Oh, yeah.
Making promises that we can't possibly keep.
Like talking to them about their relationships. Right? That's what we were talking about, right?
Brian or Anthony, you guys have any shows that?
No, I'm not ashamed of anything I watch. I don't even remember the original question, but
What TV shows are you embarrassed that you've watched?
yeah, no, I'm open.
Brian doesn't get embarrassed.
I'm kind of sort of embarrassed that I watched Dog the Bounty Hunter. But you gotta watch it because it's such an epic fucking train wreck all the time. And the funniest thing is, like, he's such like a fat dude now. He's like, we're like, he's essentially Dog the Bounty Hunter. It's just, it's great.
I like watching it for the epic takedown, the violence, and then 15 minutes later,
The healing
prayers
message.
together in the
healing
car,
message, yeah.
and they're giving each other hugs. I'm like, a minute ago you said drop it, scumbag.
Yeah,
You-
kicking him in the face,
Kicking
calling him
him
a
in the
fucking
face.
dirtbag.
Yeah.
Taking you down, boy!
Yeah.
Hey man, really sorry we had to do that.
And it seems like Beth's always running to catch up with a walkie-talkie.
Get
She never
smacked in the
gets.
head with a
She
giant
never
boot.
gets there in time.
Yeah.
Yeah. She shows up for the message, but that's
Yeah.
it.
See, I never saw Dog the Bounty Hunter, but I know a lot of people at Hy-Vee that dress like that.
I
Show
thought that
up
was the
each
South
day.
Dakota thing. I mean,
It's a normal Walmart.
You're living
Yeah.
that show.
I live it every day.
I mean, if you want to see examples, just show up to Walmart on the weekend about 2 a.m.
Yeah.
Somewhere between 2 and 5 a.m., man.
You see
Yeah.
Dog
Packed
Bounty
full.
Hunter and his kids.
Yeah, the whole family.
Just go to-
The extended family.
Just go to 10th Aquinas Hy-Vee at midnight.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
Like,
been there.
yeah.
Been there.
Last night I just wanted to buy a pint of Ben & Jerry's and I just saw some weird stuff go down. I'm just like, I just want the ice cream. Like,
I'm gonna get out of here.
next question. Should we
Yeah,
move on to the
absolutely.
topic? All right. Replacement singers that you thought were great or maybe even better than the original singer. Pass or fail? I'll talk about
I'll
it.
take that. Oh yeah, I'll talk.
I like this.
Pass.
I'm gonna go pass.
Michael Graves from Misfits was pretty solid. Even though Danzig's the best in Misfits, obviously.
I will say Michael Graves is a very good vocalist.
Worthy successor.
Should have changed the name.
Yeah,
Should have changed the name. Different feel, different sound.
true.
Stay lucky.
It was more of a marketing thing.
Yeah. I think positive ones, obviously Brian Johnson,
Yeah,
AC/DC,
for sure.
Bruce Dickinson, Iron Maiden.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
What about the 17 singers Van Halen went to?
I don't like Van Halen at all, ever. Nothing
I love
about
Roth. Hagar.
Did you see that video that was going around here not too long ago with a country band where he played on Conan or David Letterman or something like that?
them. No, that was good. That was
Oh,
horrible.
it was
It was the
fucking
worst thing I've
horrible.
ever heard. It was great. It was great.
Get up.
Halen went through 3 singers.
I never.
Oh yeah, there was the Gary
Gary
Sharon
Sharon
period.
Sharon,
from Extreme.
I'm like, just
Most
stick
people
to
try to
Extreme.
forget about that.
I didn't
actually.
like anything
Wasn't his?
other than.
Didn't he have a
David
kid that was a
Lee
drummer that played for? God, what was it? Kill Sharon, wasn't it? I think he played drums for Dillinger Escape Plan after Penny dropped out. I'm pretty sure. I think that's the guy.
Wow.
I could be wrong. I could be thinking of something completely
I
different.
say
I'm
if
pretty
he
sure.
is, he probably didn't advertise that fact.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
No.
No.
Your dad's who? It's cool. Forget it.
Did As I Lay Dying ever get a new singer? They just quit.
They kept it going.
No,
He's
they
still-
just
he's
they
still-
came back out once he got out of prison.
What?
And
Yeah.
they released a whole dramatic 30-minute video on discussing the like how
He's out of prison now.
he's been out for a couple of years now.
Really? Huh.
And they came back to a hugely mixed opinion from like the general public. Hugely mixed. And I'm one of those people that like I can't get past like listening and thinking, yeah, that guy tried to murder his wife.
Yeah, after the whole, we're a Christian band and we believe this.
And then they later admitted it was just for marketing. Like
Being a Christian band.
a lot of those bands, that's what it is.
Like, there's not a lot better marketing than that.
I'm trying to think others for the replacement singer. Technically, Gwen Stefani is a replacement singer for No Doubt. So that was yeah.
Okay, that wins.
So,
She's
although
pretty good.
first couple albums were solid.
Lucas of the K's only had one lead singer, but 17 bass players.
Unfortunately,
17.
Unfortunately, we've tried to get rid of our singer many times. Unfortunately, everybody else.
He's like a
left,
Shel Silverstein book, though. He's coming back.
Yeah.
But I'm pumped.
17 bass players, 4 drummers.
It's not really 17.
That's pretty close.
Probably like 5.
I was one. I was never a bass player.
I haven't been in the state long enough to know the history here.
I can't comment on this question because I don't know.
Not a whole lot.
I got nothing.
I think we addressed the main ones.
Adam's the one to go with on this one. Anthony.
Matt Skiba put into Blink might be a.
Yeah.
That was.
I think
like
that
that.
is the only thing that actually made me not
What's it?
hate Blink anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think Mark Hoppus is all that good of a singer. I don't hate the band.
No.
Travis is a really good drummer.
Sorry.
Tom's vocals made me want to shoot myself.
Yeah.
So subbing that out with Matt Skiba, I'll take any day.
His vocals are like something you either hate him or you love him.
Yeah.
See, I'm the opposite.
I like Tom's vocals.
Yeah, I think Matt Skiba was probably an amazing replacement. I think he's a great songwriter.
Anthony gives me shit all the time because I have one song that we wrote where you sound like Tom DeLonge. Fuck.
I don't even think you really did. I think I just threw it out there and it stuck.
You
I was
take
like-
that back,
I was
you
like,
son
oh,
of
it's
a
getting under
bitch.
his skin. So I'm just
Was that right before he told you, hey man, tune up? Man. Your guitar sounds like
You
shit.
know that thing sounds way better when you tune it. Shut the fuck up. God damn it. Stop telling me to tune it. Try to tune.
I don't want to tune my guitar.
Yeah. I'm not doing it anymore.
Leave me alone, Dad.
If Ryan Howe was here, I would say that Axl would is a perfect replacement vocalist for AC/DC. Because he hates Guns N' Roses, and AC/DC is his favorite band.
Oh, really?
And so,
Did Axl Rose really?
He
like, for shows,
yeah,
I think.
Yep.
Because they had kicked Brian Johnson out because his hearing was so bad. At least that's what I heard.
Oh,
And-
Bazinga.
So yeah, let's
I
keep
heard he
this
couldn't
band
hear.
going by getting the most dysfunctional frontman in the history of music.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
like the first few AC/DC shows with Axl, he was in the Dave Grohl's drum throne that he used when he broke his leg 3 years ago. So yeah, I think that's it for that one. Let's move
Would the
on.
most dysfunctional frontman be G.G. Allen? I mean, he's not
Probably.
alive anymore. But
Yeah.
No, but that's
That
the
was
thing.
part of the allure.
That was
Well, yeah.
that was
Well, I
that was
understand
part
that,
of the whole show.
I
There was
get-
no,
I get it.
but
I mean,
Yeah.
definitely dysfunctional. Absolutely.
the crowd
You know-
thought it was dysfunctional.
You know, Marcus that played in ICU for a very short while had a G.G. Allen tattoo. That was
Oh,
pretty
really?
awesome.
Oh,
Yeah.
That was
I
one of
just
the
recently,
17 bass players.
Yeah, exactly, right?
I just recently, well, for the first time, I'm out of touch, watched the hated G.G. Allen documentary.
Yeah.
I'm just like, I cannot eat for the next couple days.
Oh, for sure.
You know the guy that
Especially bananas.
you know the guy that
Oh.
directed that's
Yeah.
the same guy that did The Hangover.
Oh yeah, and old school
Okay.
and stuff.
Okay,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's like his college
Yeah,
project.
a lot of people. Yeah, it was a fantastic movie.
Yeah, it was a great
Like him
movie.
or hate him, you
It's-
can't look away.
It is a captivating film. You cannot stop watching it. Although at certain scenes, I did have to go, okay, I gotta look away for a second. And
I mean, I do recommend that to anybody to watch that movie at least once.
Totally. Let's move on to the next topic. Your favorite one-hit wonder song. Talk about pass?
Yeah, I'll
Or-
pass on that. I don't.
Fail it?
Fail.
Okay. All right.
New radicals.
Cover songs better than the original version, or originals better than the cover? All right.
Okay.
I'm probably in the minority in this one, but I love Alien Ant Farm's Smooth Criminal cover.
Oh,
I'll
I like
take
it.
I'll buy into that.
Yeah, I love that cover.
I'm a huge Michael Jackson fan, but
Alien Ant Farm did
Yeah,
it.
it's
That was a
fucking
fun
good.
song.
That was
You're a huge
fun.
Michael Jackson
I am. You can't deny greatness.
fan? I can.
I will,
yeah.
however, say Weezer's Africa cover is boring. Like
Yeah.
everyone's like, it's so good. I'm like, it sounds just like
Yeah,
the
I'm like-
original.
No, they produced the living crap out of that
Mhm.
song,
It's very
and it
meh.
still doesn't touch the original.
I was just like, why is this a hit? Like,
What's that? The Atari's cover.
Boys of Summer. That, I gotta
I
say
really,
that's
really
that
like
is
that.
a very good.
Oh yeah,
That's
yeah.
very
I
good.
liked that one a lot.
That was
Yeah.
my senior, like when I was a senior. That came out that year, and that was our class song. And I'd say that.
No, that's actually
Christ,
very
I'm
good.
old.
no, you're not. Come on.
Not my fault. Old balls.
That was Atari's like only technical radio hit, wasn't it?
Well,
maybe
after
one or
that,
two.
there started having some radio play, but I think that was.
And after that, they went through endless lineup changes.
I think that singer like went had a manic episode or something like that.
Yeah, or something like that.
That's probably my favorite cover.
Yeah,
I like that cover a lot.
That's
Dwight Yoakam's cover of Suspicious Minds is better than Elvis. Lee Burns.
While you're on that, I'm gonna have to say Dwight Yoakam's cover of Cheap Trick,
Oh, want you to
Was-
want me?
yeah, was better.
That's pretty
than
good.
the
Never
original.
heard that. I'll have to check that one out.
And I really like Cheap Trick, but Dwight Yoakam
Yeah.
as a musician, has done some really cool things. You know, for being in that genre of music, you know, used to play in LA, opening up for X and you know, the Blasters and other punk bands and rockabilly bands, and to be able to do something like that and, you know, really stand out with it, I think was really cool.
He's a good actor.
Oh, and he's a really good actor.
Yeah. Oh,
The few minutes in Wedding Crashers was great, but what else was he in? Panic Room.
What was that movie with Billy Bob Thornton? Bandits. I think it was one of
Yeah.
called.
Maybe.
That was a good movie.
Johnny Cash's Hurt cover.
That's
very,
fantastic.
yes, that was a very good one.
That's a good one.
There were some rumors that video, like the actual live, in the video, the live parts of it were supposedly like, or in the actual Nine Inch Nails video, not the Johnny Cash one. Supposedly all those live parts in the background were supposedly when they played at the arena in Sioux Falls way back when.
Oh, really?
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, whether that's true or not, I remember somebody had told me that, and I believe it was someone of reputable character that told me that. It could be complete bullshit. But so yeah, so there, I'll just throw that out there.
Sounds good.
I think it was
Yeah.
me, and it was bullshit.
I would say, well, I would say also in terms of like the topic we're on now, the Guar cover of Baba O'Reilly. They did it on. It's on a.
Oh, I did see that. Yeah, that one was good.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
on. It's on like a. Can't remember the name of the damn. It's like there's a studio in New York that
Yeah,
basically
what the fuck is the name
they
of that?
invite people in and they play other people's songs and like without any. They don't have any like preparation. They just come in and play it. And I can't think of what it's called though.
Hey, we did that tonight at practice.
Yeah, we did. That's true. But yeah, Guar covers Baba O'Reilly, and it's great. It's really, really good.
I like
Yeah, and it was before.
Brian
Brownie
does
died.
a bunch of good ones on
Yeah,
there.
and
Billy
Wayward
Ocean's.
Son.
Yeah.
That's on
What's
there.
that Billy
Billy
Ocean?
Ocean. Yeah. Get out of my dream.
Get out of my dream. Get the fuck in my car.
Yeah, all the ones they do on there are really good. I can't think. What was the name of that?
That is
I
good.
don't remember. It's gonna bum me out now that I can't think of it.
Get the fuck in my car. Get in the fucking car.
Yeah, like
Beep beep. Yeah.
There is a lot of them that I would hear like during KCFS days when I was DJing, people would always ask, you should play some of the Punk Goes Pop covers. And I'm just
No.
like, these are all garbage.
You
Yeah,
should never.
well,
You
no.
should never play the Punk
The
Goes
first
Pop.
one was alright.
Yeah. The early, like the first couple.
There was, I want to say, and I don't remember. There was one song on there that I thought wasn't bad, and I can't unless I look at the
this
set list. I don't think I could tell you.
maybe a guilty pleasure, but I enjoy those.
They're fun to listen
See,
to.
my daughter's name is Lila, and on one of them they did "My Love" by who the fuck did that song? Justin Timberlake or something like that.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
My love. So like the way they scream it, it sounds like Lila,
Oh, okay.
and so she always thought that was. She always wanted me to play that. So we're rolling in the minivan listening to this screamo metal shit.
The Trampled by Turtles cover of Where's My Mind is pretty good.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd put one. I think they both are great in their own right. I can't really say one's
Hollander?
better or worse than the other.
Hollander's covered, Pixies covered.
Oh, yeah.
That's pretty
I like
weird
that
in my
cover.
mind.
I loved when they covered it. I was late in the game. I didn't see Hollander when they were around originally because I was
Because they're
like junior
because
high.
they're old as old as
I was 6.
Yeah.
Couldn't get in. Fake ID didn't work.
Yeah.
So
Bullshit.
the one that I was thinking of was actually, it was not Punk Goes Pop. It was the first Punk Goes Metal.
Oh, that was horrible.
Okay, the whole album was horrible. There
If
was
I
one,
did,
they did Guns N' Roses. Even that
Yeah,
was
that was
shitty. And I love AFI, but no, the Ataris did Skid Row's "I Remember You." Now the reason it was so, I mean, it was a really good cover, all things considered. But the best part was the end part in the original where Sebastian Bach hits that really high note.
Mhm.
They're playing through it. Their speed. And when it gets to that part, they just threw in his vocal from the original song, and then kept on with the song. It was like that really high note. It was so good. It was so good. Yeah. It was,
I think that's.
that's all I got.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah,
there's
right.
a lot of
yeah,
cover
I'm
songs.
sure there's a bunch that I'm not thinking of right now. but-
If you search one that I just got into here like a week
I have
ago,
to find that.
this
more.
band called Larkin Poe.
Let's get
It's
about
just
it.
two gals, and they do like a
Oh
country
shit!
blues-ish.
What is that?
It's a Phil Collins cover.
Yes.
It's so good. It's amazing. Phil Collins. I'm having a brain fart.
I can feel it in the air tonight.
I
Blah
can
blah
feel
blah.
it.
Oh, in the air,
Oh, God.
There were a lot of actually 80s hits that were hits at that time that were actually covers.
Yeah.
Like Tainted Love was a cover.
Yeah.
And so was Always Something There to Remind Me. All those,
Yeah.
a lot of those songs were just covers from obscure bands from like the 70s. Or,
I didn't realize. You know that reggae song, that Red Red Wine.
Yeah.
That was originally a Neil Diamond song.
Huh.
I heard it on NPR the other day. I was blown away. I had no idea.
I'm trying to remember what podcast I listened to where they broke down like the whole history of that song.
Yeah.
Because I want to say something like it got censored because of like people, like radio stations out in different parts of the country were like claiming that there was something dirty in there because you couldn't understand the words of the original one and stuff like that. And it was like a whole like crazy fucking story. It was just like, for this song?
Oh, Nothing Compares to You was obviously a Prince song.
That's good. But yeah, if you're listening, YouTube search the Larkin Poe in the Air Tonight. It's absolutely amazing. It's just the two girls and
That
I don't
noir,
think it's
that
gonna-
noir thing is AV Club. So
All right.
Noir
Oh,
AV Club.
Mountain Goats covered Jawbreaker, I think.
Yeah,
And that was awesome.
that was him.
I love that. That was super cool. And then Mountain Goats were like, why'd you cover this? Like, we just liked it. Or something like AV Club, that whole series. Oh, Reggie Watts covering Panama by Van Halen.
Yeah.
That was, doesn't sound anything like Panama except he threw in a couple Panama.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. There's nothing that tied any of it together.
the best cover songs ever, in my opinion, are ones that, I mean, they pay homage to the original song, but you know, like the Ataris made it a
They
pop-
did they
pop
did it
version.
theirs.
MXPX,
Like, you can't.
MXPX came out with that on the cover.
They did.
The original
MXPX did a great cover of Ramones.
Mhm.
KKK Took My Baby Away. I thought that was really good for what it was. I mean,
But when bands take it and make it their own and just pay a little homage to the original song. I love that.
There's a band called Screaming Females. They covered Taylor Swift's "Shake It Off,"
Oh yeah.
and I like her energy. Like it's a female-fronted like punk trio, and her energy is like the weirdness how she sang it was just so like. Go to the playhouse, go to the playhouse.
She's weird in general. You're
Yeah.
just like, you know, you're like, yeah, she's weird.
But it's really
It's all
cool.
right.
Yeah.
It's like, she's weird. She's definitely weird.
Yeah.
You do one of those, you walk in the room, you're like, yeah, she's the weird one.
Yeah.
Hey, how you guys doing?
Yeah.
Weird over there.
She just sits in the corner.
Yeah.
Just,
Oh,
Yeah.
hey Lee Bruns, I just saw that he's talking to us. What's up?
Hey, Lee.
What's up, Lee?
One of our, I think, weekly watchers and listeners, besides Robbie Knowlting. So, hey, Lee.
Hi Lee.
Thank you for listening each time. We appreciate it. Got any others? Next
That's all
one.
I got.
All right.
Next question.
Let's speed round here.
Do farewell tours mean anything at all?
Yes.
Pass.
Oh, pass.
Pass.
Yes.
Talk about it.
We got
No.
3
Fuck. 2 out
God damn
of 5 fail.
That was a quick one. You had to do it. Next question.
Yeah.
I still say they do.
If you were a touring artist, what would you have on your rider? Pass.
Can answer
I
that.
thought-
I'll
yeah,
answer
I'll
that.
talk
I
about that
mean,
one.
Beer.
Occupancy.
beer, and food. Beer.
Don't let Brian answer.
Honestly, beer and food. If you've
Yeah.
if you've ever been in a band, a traveling band that was
Notice how we
given-
don't say money.
well, no, I mean, if you're in a travel, unless you're headlining or you're renowned, if you're lucky enough to get a rider, you want enough to get yourself.
Some
by.
people might
So,
not know what a rider is.
Rider is things that you require on tour. Oops, excuse me, on tour in the dressing room or like food and stuff beforehand.
I'd say beer. God dang it.
Brian
dude.
would agree.
This is horrible. I'm.
Just a lot of beer.
Yep.
Sandwich,
Beer and
sandwiches.
food. Yeah, beer and
Yeah,
food.
wings.
Lucas of the K. Yeah, Lucas of the K. We played in Omaha, and that's how we got paid.
Beer, whiskey.
Yeah, a whole bottle
Wings.
of Jack Daniels and beer. That's all I really care about.
Cut out the middleman.
Well, especially when they go, you know what, we can't pay you tonight, but
I'm a big fan when you play at a place like I know we played at Icon before. We've gotten to drink for free.
Mm.
I'm a big fan of that.
yeah,
If you-
if I don't have to
Maybe
spend
it's
my
local.
own money,
If it's a local thing, that's it.
If you had something weird on your rider though, like what would it be?
Weird on my rider. Okay.
That's I was curious because beer, food, and
I
drinks
mean,
are necessities.
if that were the case, I would pull something right out of Airheads and come up with the most ridiculous shit I can think of.
naked photos, of
Naked
Beyonce.
photos of B. Arthur, football helmet full of cottage cheese.
There you
Yeah.
go. I forgot about that one.
bowl full of green M&Ms,
Yep,
a
Yeah.
human skull.
yep.
I think I've told the story on this show before about I forget whose writer it was that had the human skull thing, and they just tried and couldn't find one. And they got this big cartoony Halloween one at the last minute, and they were like, "Is that good enough?" And I'm like, "Yeah, that's good enough."
I would put 3 puppies on my rider.
Why 3? Why the number 3?
Because 2 is not enough.
Yeah, it's true.
4 is it's way too
So if you have 2, you're cuddling. And
4
three,
is
three,
too
that's
much of a
kind just-
commitment.
Right.
Yeah.
Then you need to actually send them home with somebody.
No, they don't go home with me. They stay. I mean, I don't give a shit what you do with the puppies after we're done. But when I'm there, I want 3 puppies. Just to relax, you know. Or a massage therapist that will drip me off, which also relaxes me.
I'd say the most fucked up tacos you could find, and mushrooms.
Ooh, mushrooms.
That'd be a good one.
I love
A
mushrooms.
well-worn copy of Encino Man on DVD.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, I already have one of those. I don't
Yeah,
know.
me too.
What do you consider a weird taco?
Seafood, fucking
Skittles.
Skittles, mushrooms. I don't know.
Purina dog food.
Now, when you say mushrooms, are you talking shiitake?
Like I'm talking like, yeah, mushrooms.
Yeah, shiitake.
Okay. I was thinking more like 2005. Next question.
All right. Next one.
Before we incriminate ourselves way too much.
What's one song on the radio that was played to death during its prime that you still enjoy despite it being overplayed?
Oh,
Pass. Talk about it.
I'll
Yeah,
talk
I'll
about
talk
it.
about
That.
that. Oh Lord.
Buzz in the house.
I want to say. I mean,
Oh shit.
Buzz. Hey, the
Buzz.
buzzards. The buzzard.
Okay, Buzz Hillstead right here. He was the original bass player for Lucas OK.
It's true.
One of the
He's
17.
One of those 17.
that was 14.
Pretty close. Hey, Buzz.
Hey, Buzz.
What was the
Buzzard.
question?
What is one song that was played to death on the radio in its prime, but that you still enjoy,
No Diggity.
despite it being overplayed?
No day.
Black Street.
Yeah.
I love that song.
Mambo number 5.
No.
It still is a jam at dance clubs.
Hua! That. Every time.
You do that really
It's like,
well.
Dude, our shit DJ at our wedding played that song, despite the fact we asked him to not play shit like that. I mean that's one of my
Was it
biggest memories
before
for
or
that.
after the chicken dance?
How many times did you
No.
tell him not to play that? One,
We
two,
played, no,
three,
I
four, five.
spent days making him
Somewhere
music to
in
play,
your
and he
five.
still
Yeah.
played that.
At least
He
five.
still played that, and he played "Who Let the Dogs Out" too. And I would have
That
said
song
something.
was
But,
not too bad.
no,
Get
it's
my
horrible.
trophy, touch trophy, get my dookie, I'm looking at bird.
No.
Who doesn't go, "Woof, woof, woof, woof," every time you hear, "Who let the dogs out?"
No.
Oh,
it's in your head there. You're like,
yeah.
shit.
I don't care. I love it.
Yeah.
That sounds great.
Oh.
How about Wonderwall? That used to be on the
I can see that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But that
Oh.
I Love It song, I had that fucking cranked when I moved into this apartment. Like on
Love It.
repeat. It was fucking great.
There is a clean version that I played on KC Fest. You could tell it was clearly edited poorly. Like, I threw your stuff into a brick bag, push it down the stairs.
You're like,
I'm a 90s chick.
He's like Willem Dafoe's voice in there. Jack. Couldn't find anybody else at the time. You had to do the voiceovers. Oh, we got a serial crusher theory. So he got smashed by some big fucking guy. Just watched that movie the other day, so it's fresh in my head.
Content theory.
Bad Day
Serial
by
crusher
Daniel
theory.
Powder.
Oh Jesus.
It's a guilty
How's
pleasure.
that go?
It's you had a bad day.
Oh.
The best is they've got that song over clips on YouTube of people like hurting themselves and falling down the stairs and
Yeah.
getting hit in the face with plates and shit. That makes it somewhat enjoyable.
My favorite use of that song was that like 5 years ago or so, AMC was doing their like 31 Days of Horror for Halloween, and that's why this is in my head. And they did a promo for all of the like Halloween movies and zombie movie stuff that they were playing to that song, where it was like, "You had a bad day," and a guy gets his like arm ripped off, and then cut to like Mike Myers like behind the closet door. It's like, "You had a bad day."
We did a music video project in college for that song. They said make a music video, and they basically they had me. They filmed everything on a cart of me in a hallway at our college, just over singing this song. I was wearing an Argyle sweater, just crying a lot, fake, like just posing next to a. It's on YouTube still if you want to have free time.
It's still out.
Still up there.
Still running around.
Yeah, I just remember that one because I was like, it's cheesy piano pop. That's just what it is. Like, it's still catchy.
We should answer for Hunter. Hunter is a Taylor Swift song.
Forget that guy.
Probably not even
Nobody
listening
even
right
remembered
now.
that he was part of this band until you just talked about it.
I said Poker Face, Lady Gaga.
I like that song. It's
That's a
alright.
solid song.
Poker face.
That's a
I
good
like that
song.
song.
That sounds like something you go to jail for.
Oh, to sidetrack back to the cover is better than the original. It's not better than the original, but Weezer did a mashup of Poker Face and Kids by MGMT. Solid cover.
I'm glad you came back to this cover. I was just thinking Anti-Flag just came out with some like really good covers.
Was it a cover album?
I think they did
It's like
like
an EP or something like
like an EP, like 3 covers and like a couple acoustic songs with their last
I've
album.
never,
They did the Buffalo Springfield.
Yeah,
Uh,
it was pretty good. It was, but I think we did better.
You know, I've never been an Anti-Flag
That's
fan,
what the K did at one point.
but Unseen did Rolling Stones Paint It Black pretty good.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Okay,
All right, we totally sidestepped.
We
it.
sidestepped. Let's go next
We
question.
did.
Next
We're
one.
terrible at this.
It's anarchy. Total anarchy.
Do you ever go on social media cleanses? How
Pass.
frequently are you on per day?
That's passes.
Pass that one.
Yeah.
Skip it.
Yeah.
Skip it. All right.
We're too old for that.
All right.
I don't even know.
We were on a different kind of cleanse. at our age.
This one's a little cheesy. Was there a single moment of your upbringing where you knew you wanted to be a performer?
Got caught peeing in the bushes one time.
So,
Didn't
yeah.
mind it.
So, yeah, we're talking
I
about
guess
it.
that's
Yeah.
okay.
I don't care. I'm gonna pass this one. I don't know okay, pass. Let's
All right,
go.
yeah. Good
Why,
pass. Good
why are you
pass.
passing with your thumb up then?
No.
Pass as in it passes the code.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
so
see.
we all talked about it.
I see.
Pass
Fail
and
is
then
fail.
I see.
So let's pass.
Maybe I should have paid attention.
Yeah. we're way on the wrong
Nice.
page
Okay.
right now.
Let's do
Okay.
it.
I'd say the
Oh! No way. There is no way.
Oh.
That's got to sit there now.
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm
that
gonna glue that on there, and that's a permanent fixture of the studio. That's amazing.
I don't know. the first
Well
time I
done.
played on stage, I suppose.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like anybody, I suppose.
We almost.
I don't like. I mean, I've never liked the attention. I kind of just I like the music enough to where I had the opportunity, so I took advantage of it. But maybe because I play drums, I'm like, yeah, I still get to hide behind some shit and not talk to anybody. Nobody ever likes a drummer.
I like the drummer.
Well, I know you're
I like you
weird,
guys.
though. Yeah.
Thank you, buddy.
drummers.
Yeah,
It's
Jeff.
always the bassist nobody likes. I thought.
I like you.
They're always the forgettable one.
That's why we've had
Yeah,
17 bass
17 of them,
players.
yeah, right? I'm just here for the moment.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, playing on stage the first time, I suppose, is probably.
Buzz
maybe
is sending
that's
laughing, crying emojis now.
Of course he is.
It's because he's bipolar and he's laughing and then he's crying and then.
First couple bands I played drums in, I was a nervous wreck before every show. 'Cause
Oh,
it was
yeah.
just like being on stage. It was fun. I wanted to do it, but I was still just a nervous wreck. It was just anxiety and all that stuff. But then once I started doing stand up, drumming is the easiest walk in the park.
Oh
'cause
yeah,
you're
I
just in
couldn't
the back.
imagine.
I-
doing
yeah,
that.
doesn't matter,
Just
yeah,
like-
Holy shit.
So like now I'm actually comfortable doing stand up now. So nothing,
Right.
anything, it's not as difficult anymore.
Yeah.
It's
I'd
what
get to a point if nobody laughed, I would just stop talking.
I don't get too
Yeah.
I don't
I
get too
hate you,
nervous
so.
like playing.
Mhm.
Like people are like, are you nervous?
What? We're not famous. We're not gonna get famous. We're not gonna
Who
make
gives a
money.
shit?
My wife asks me that all the time. She's like, "You nervous for the show?" I was like, "No, it's not a big deal."
If I
Like-
fuck up, who gives
You're
a
like,
shit?
look, Facebook says 74 people are showing up, so it's either gonna be 7 or it's gonna be 4.
Yeah.
So I'm really not too
That's
either
true.
way.
Jesus, that's the truth.
Either
That's
way,
true.
it's a big deal. If 7 people think I'm an idiot, then whoa.
I've been in bands with people that like, dude, Facebook said there's like 120 people. Where do you get that from?
Yeah.
There's 120 people interested. Like,
I remember
Yeah.
playing shows before Facebook was around, and
Yeah.
not going like, well, nobody came tonight. Okay.
let's practice.
Yep.
Yeah,
Hey,
I
we're
don't-
playing directly for you, sir. Do you want to buy us a beer?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're the only one up in front. We'll
I don't-
dedicate a song to you. Just bring us some beer.
I don't think you could be a seasoned musician without playing to nobody.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, of course. I mean, it's a
No,
it's
you've
an
always
experience you
you've
need to
always
have,
got
for
the other bands and their girlfriends.
That's true.
sure. See, that's
there,
the thing.
right?
You
now,
never play
now we have wives, and our wives are pretty.
Yeah,
they
our
like
wives
us.
are very supportive. I love them. They're awesome.
Thank you, wives.
Yes.
So there's
Yay
at least
to-
like four
Hey,
people.
hi-yo.
Yeah.
Future wife,
Future wife, thank you.
future whatever.
And now, now I've got a kid. He's got a kid, and they're like old enough to come to our shows.
Yeah.
It's cool.
So now we're like wives and kids.
At least
Yeah.
17 kids.
My kid laughed the other day. She's like, "You've got stuff on YouTube?" I'm like, "Yeah, my old band." Because YouTube is like that just means you're famous apparently.
Yeah.
So my daughter just thinks I'm like the bee's knees now. I'm like, yep. Look, I got a whole 2,000 views on this song.
You're fucking lame before.
I
Now
was.
you're on YouTube.
I was, but I'm on YouTube.
And in the back of your mind, you're like, I can't wait for like 3 years to go by, and then you finally realize that anybody can put anything on YouTube.
Yep.
And then you'd be like, oh, all right.
Want to see something cool? I can go unwrap some toys and play with them on YouTube too, and I'll get even more followers
That's
than my
the
fucking
thing,
band
very
will.
true.
We could do that.
Yeah.
We could just
Yeah.
unwrap toys. We
There's
get way
3
more
people
views.
watching you on YouTube right now.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
If we were unwrapping toys right now, it'd be like 13.
Yeah,
We'll start doing music videos with us making slime and fucking playing with
That's what we
candy
should have
and
done.
shit, and then
We
yeah.
should have brought. We should have been
Yeah.
making slime this whole time.
Yeah.
Well,
Our
answer
target
the question.
audience is a little older than that. Like I said, 50-year-old women.
Yeah, but they probably have kids and grandkids.
It's true.
You're not thinking about this the right
Everybody
way.
wins.
Yeah.
Well, what you guys need to do is land a really great like Medicare Part B
Yeah.
endorsement or something
We could
like
review like different brands of like adult underwears,
that.
that kind of thing.
See, now you're thinking.
Yeah,
Now you're
we
thinking.
could just
Now
go
you
through
got something.
from like from like
Lucas with the,
The entry
K,
level
the
depends
split
up
album
to,
with
like, the
AARP.
With the
Yep.
Y'all stop out to the next show. You bring your AARP card. We'll give you 10% off the door.
Hey, we're
Come on
looking
in.
for sponsorships. I mean, if they're down, I'm down. You know?
And if
I got a line on some cheap heart medications coming from Canada.
Lucas with the K colon cleanser.
It's called Miller High Life. You might be able to find it somewhere.
It's known as the champagne of beers.
Champagne beer. Hit up any Get and Go. You get them for about $3.19 a 6-pack tall boys.
Worth every penny.
I don't even remember what the question was.
You knew you wanted to be a performer, I think.
Oh,
That's something like that.
Yeah.
It's cheesy.
Well,
My-
we touched on it, right?
yeah.
My thing was like growing up, I didn't have a rough childhood. Like my parents were great and everything, but like I got messed with a lot when I was a kid, just because I was like, I don't know, I just didn't ever fight back because I just didn't care. I was just like, whatever. I'm gonna get to go home later and whatever. I don't have to deal with these kids anymore. So like as an adult, I like turned into a giant misanthrope. So like I consider myself like a philanthropic misanthrope because it's like I'll help some people out, but I think the biggest reason I want to help people out is then when I'm done, they'll leave me the fuck alone. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's
Yeah.
kind of weird.
Yeah.
So like, as far as like performing, I feel like I don't know for some strange reason it like ties into that. I'm just like, okay, I'm gonna go up here and I'm gonna do this stuff that I like to do, but then when I'm done, just leave me the fuck alone.
Yeah.
And then I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go do something. Leave me alone.
So I'm the
No
op- I'm-
autograph, please.
Yeah,
I'm
no.
the opposite of that. I like talking to people after the show, and which is good because you go hide and I'm like, hey guys.
For me, it's like with band. It's like I love doing stand up and bands because bands it's a brothership, it's a kinship. It's fun, but also with stand up you don't have to rely on yourself. So it's like, oh, can I do this show? Let me check it myself. If I'm free, yeah, I'll do it. And it's one of those things. If like I'm aloof, I kind of like being on my own, just doing my own thing anyways. So it's perfect to just it's performing. You just do whatever you feel like it, and it's kind of aloof. You kind of just go off to your thing, but you also get to like talk to people, and that's why I like doing it so much. So yeah, it's fun stuff.
Yeah.
Next one.
What do we got?
Next
All
one.
right. What's your favorite and least favorite cliche?
Nah.
Fail.
Yeah.
Yeah, screw that one.
I'm not up to date on my cliches.
How do you know if you're a hipster?
Holy shit.
Oh fuck! No, I'm gonna say no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Should have shook this one up a little better.
Do you really know though?
I think
Are you gonna admit it?
if you don't know,
Yeah.
you are one.
Yeah, exactly. If you can't
Yeah.
tell the difference.
What are some things you don't like that everyone else seems to love? It's kind of a vague, broad question.
That's a
but
good broad question. Yeah.
Fail it.
Things you
Yeah,
don't
fail it.
like.
Fail that. It's a little broad. It's a little broad.
Hey. That's flat.
Thumb up.
Best final album by an artist. Final album.
I don't really know.
Eh.
Let's go again.
Yeah. Two.
We're waiting for the risky ones. So
Wait,
we're
yeah,
gonna hop on it.
Worst pickup lines that you've actually used.
Yeah, let's do this.
Let's do this one.
Worst pickup lines
Okay,
you actually
the word
used?
for me, the worst one, but the most successful one.
Hey, I'm in Lucas with a K.
No, it's just you walk up to somebody at a bar, say, "Hey, wanna fuck?"
Are you down?
You do that to 100. I mean, if you're 1 in 100, and you do it to 100
It's kind of a
people,
50-50, isn't it?
yeah. I mean, somebody might say yes, but it's a pretty bad one.
Somebody might just mace you too. I mean,
That's true.
See, I just tell people on the flu bug, we'll see what happens. But
That's
I mean,
true.
My
I get
neighbor-
bored.
my neighbor told me my neighbor likes to drink, And so we were over at his house. He's got a projector in his garage, so we always go over there and hang out. He's got like a party garage.
Yeah.
Single dude across the street. And we were in, we went to Chicago for a show. And I'm not going to say who it was because it's embarrassing, and I didn't want to go to see the guy anyway. Anyway.
the third act. That was good.
I know. But anyway. Well, I'll leave it mysterious. But so we're at some after the show. We're at some random bar in Tinley Park, and and my buddy Paul's like, "Hey, I'm gonna use this on somebody. Check it out." I'm like, "All right." And he's like, "You walk up to somebody and you're like, hey, you know the difference between jelly and jam?" And when they're like, "What?" And you're like, "Well, I can't jelly my dick in your mouth, can I?" It's like, "Oh my god, dude, what the fuck?
Jesus.
Holy shit!" I'm like, "Well, Paul's going to prison. It's gonna be cool."
That's a bad one.
It is a bad one.
It's
terrible.
yelling my dick.
Yeah, I'm like, okay.
These are things we talk about on a normal basis.
Yeah,
but we're
yeah.
embarrassed to some
I was talking to a friend of mine about anti-pickup lines today, and I was just one of those. I noticed you were having a drink at the bar. Does that mean you're a dependent alcoholic, or are you just happy to see me?
I'll be over here watching you all night.
It makes me think of the ladies' man. He's like slides up and he's like, "Do you want a fish sandwich?"
I got my Cabassier.
Yeah, let's go to your house. So you don't want a fish sandwich?
That was fucking awesome.
I don't think I can even answer that because I don't think I've ever used it.
I'm
in my
not
life.
good at that. I can't do
I'm
that.
horrible. It took me weeks, if not months, to even realize that my current wife was hitting on me before we were together. So I'm terrible at it.
Yeah, I've never really used any kind of pickup lines.
It's like honestly, it's like
I'm in a band, but not a good one.
Oh, really? Not good on.
I have used that. Like,
And it probably still works when you say it's not a good one. They're like, oh, and then they feel bad for you. Like, oh,
But we play a lot of shows.
Yeah.
Oh, really? But we don't make any money. Oh. But we got an album out.
Wanna
Oh, yeah? But nobody's bought it. Oh.
I do stand up, and I may talk about this interaction on stage.
Yeah.
Want to go out?
It's just a giant roller coaster, just like up and down and up and down.
I wrote this song for you. Actually, I wrote it for like 4 girls behind you. Whatever.
You don't need to know that. Why did I just tell you?
Next one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That one.
Before Brian comes back.
What are your favorite songs that sound happy but are actually dark?
I'll say thumbs up.
I'll talk about that
yeah,
one.
I'll tell you about that.
Any song that Cake ever wrote.
Oh yeah. Sheep go to heaven.
All of them. Pretty much all of them.
Sheep
I'm the
go to
only one
heaven,
that
goats go
thinks
to hell.
Cake is
Yeah,
horrible.
Exactly.
I don't like
What?
I think Cake is horrible.
Wait, music? Yeah, I hate
The
it.
food or the band?
Oh, no, the band.
I get why people don't like them, but I personally like them.
I do. I'm not
Cake is one of those bands that comes on. I put them in the same. I mean, I need to turn it off
Yeah, I'm not-
immediately.
Alkaline Trio is a great band that has happy sounding songs.
Oh
It
yeah.
really
Oh,
does.
yeah,
I was gonna
absolutely.
say, yeah.
This could be love for sure.
Yeah.
At least the chorus on that one. Yeah, a lot of those songs.
Those are not for eating.
Yeah.
Those are props for you. Those plastic. Oh!
Props.
Brian's back.
Oh, damn, y'all got Werthers?
Um,
A lot of Misfits songs are
Yeah.
that way too.
God dang it.
No, I was gonna say Alkaline Trio, but yeah, that's
Yeah,
I mean,
anything
that's probably
Alkaline
yeah,
Trio,
that's probably
right?
one of the it's probably one of the biggest ones I can think of.
Like whenever I was like there was like this like try and see what Alkaline Trio sounds like. Matt Skiba once said Misfits and Jawbreaker had a baby. That's what Alkaline Trio sounds like. Like that's actually kind of a valid point.
That's pretty close.
Yeah.
I mean,
Um,
Matt Skiba is a way better songwriter.
Frank Turner has a song called "Heartless Bastard Motherfucker," I think is the name of the song. And it's a kind of an uplifting sounding song, but he's talking about how he's just a piece of shit, and like I don't give a fuck about you, but yeah, that's a great song.
The Happy Song by Janitor Bob and the Armchair Cowboys.
Janitor Bob. You play with Janitor Bob?
Janitor Robert.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the janitorial engineers.
My best friend since kindergarten, her dad was the lead guitarist.
Oh,
Jane
really?
Ross. I've known her and them for a long
Pat
time.
McIntyre's daughter?
Yeah, yeah.
I've known Pat for a long time.
Apparently, I'm full of bullshit. Me and my wife started dating before I was 21. So, I don't know what that's referencing.
Yeah,
There we go.
you got called out on
I got called out.
live.
Get called out on the Dresch Code.
Sorry, man.
Let's
Episode
go. What's the
13,
next-
we should
what's
have
the next
known.
Next one.
Yeah.
We should have known.
Yeah.
Alright. How do you keep up momentum going from project to project?
I don't. Oh, pass.
Pass. I'll tell you what.
I don't.
Lack of any real focus or drive.
Try not to think about the status quo, just going from each thing, just doing it.
Well, like
Keeping yourself busy so you don't like get complacent and fucking die of old age.
Well, like,
Yeah.
like with this, like the newest incarnation of Lucas of the K is we're really relaxed.
Yeah.
Like we've all got a shitload of stuff going on,
Mhm.
careers and families and babies and
Bands and
other bands, and so it's just we practice once a week and that's it. So that's not hard, but
if it's cool, it's cool, and if it's not, it's not.
cocaine helps.
Yeah.
We have kids
more
who
of a
can
meth
afford
guy.
shit like that.
Meth and cocaine
Meth,
helps a
yeah.
lot.
Freebase math. Forget it. Just do it.
So I know some of you are in multiple bands. You kind of just like take breaks from each band and just kind of focus.
Yeah, like
on,
Stay Lucky's
yeah.
kind of taking a break right now.
Andrew's having more children.
Yeah, Andrew's
more
having another
offspring.
kid. So Anthony and I are taking a break from that band. ICU. You guys got shows coming up, right? I know.
Not
I don't know
currently,
what the
but
next
we're
one is.
still playing.
We still practice
still
here and there,
playing,
but
yeah,
yeah,
we're
there's
still
nothing on the
practicing.
horizon really. Something will pop up eventually, I'm sure. Just like, oh yeah, let's do that.
So that's kind of how I am. I just take like breaks from each band
Yeah.
for like 3 or 4 months and
Kind
just
of
kind of
bounce
come back.
around.
Yeah.
It's kind of fun that
No,
way.
I think that's the you take breaks. Like Stay Lucky, we had a show at Vishnu last week before.
Yeah, 2 weeks ago.
That was a lot of fun because we hadn't played together at all.
Mhm.
We had one practice and played a show, and that was a good time. So yeah, taking breaks is important, and not taking it too seriously.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, we're never gonna be famous. You know,
It's you kind of just take it as it is. Just enjoy what
Yeah.
you do. And
Yeah.
we love drinking, we
Yeah.
love playing music, and we just do those two every once in a while.
We're all in our mid to late 30s at this point. It's only about love.
yeah.
There's not a high demand for people of our.
We just want to get our wives horny. That's all it is.
True story.
And it seems like the only one that's doing it is Andrew because they just had a kid. So the rest of us are just kind of
The rest of us are on
Just
Dresch
kinda-
Code.
keeping the plane flat. Just going with it.
All right, next question.
Next one. All right. Favorite era of Saturday Night Live?
Yeah.
Nope.
Nah.
I'll save that for an actor episode. What's one concert that you attended that exceeded your expectations and one that disappointed you?
Okay,
that's
I'll,
fucking
I'll-
yeah.
I'll go with that one.
Yeah.
So the one that I was just talking about earlier that I wasn't going to mention because it's embarrassing. So yeah, so my neighbor across the street, Paul, the guy he's single dude, he likes to drink a lot, and he
Please just tell them who it
he
is.
buys he will just buy random shit when he's drunk. And so he tells me months ago, he's like, hey man, I bought tickets to Kid Rock in Tinley Park, and I'm like, oh sweet. Wow, that's awesome. I got to be excited for him. And then I'm like, so who's playing with him? Sure, it's gonna be awesome. And then he's like, Brantley Gilbert knows, and he doesn't like that guy, but I'm like, yeah, sweet. Like, and then he throws out. Outside of that, he throws out Wheeler Walker Jr. And I'm like, I would go just to see Wheeler Walker Jr. because Wheeler Walker Jr. is great. So turns out I couldn't go because I had some other stuff going on, and then some weird stuff happened with my grandma, and we thought she was gonna die. She didn't. So the stuff I had to do, we kind of put on hold. So then I'm like, okay, I'll go with. So we went along. Wheeler Walker played first, and it was awesome because Wheeler Walker's great. And then
Yes, he
Brantley
is.
Gilbert, I didn't hear one note of because I'm like, nah, I don't even care. Some dude, a dude that plays country, the drummer. I'm like, the drummer that plays country doesn't need 47 drums. There's no way. He had double kicks, he had 1,000 pieces up there, and I'm like, this is fucking stupid. I don't even want to see it. I don't want to hear it. So we went over to like the beer gardens, and we hung out and drank beer, and I didn't hear one note of whoever the fuck this guy is. And then by the time Kid Rock came on, I couldn't have given a shit. But I was drunk enough where I was like, whatever, I can hang out in the crowd, and it's not going to bother me at all because I don't care anymore.
Yeah.
So we were just hanging out, and I was just basically waiting for it to get over with. But it was hilarious because it was all just like his stage show was just like a bunch of like stripper-looking chicks dancing all over the place, and there's like pyrotechnics going nuts, and they had this big like Daktronics screen that had like it started out with this old shitty van with a giant American flag, and it was like this panned out shot of it ripping down the interstate with the flag flying in the background, and there's just stripper chicks just going nuts and shit, and he had this monologue where he's just telling a story about America and all this shit, and I was just like, oh god.
Long story short, you are a Republican now.
Yeah. Turns out, man, it's fucking MAGA all day, every day. MAGA every day.
Actually, one that exceeded
So
mine.
so that exceeded your expectations.
It did somehow.
Yeah.
It did both. It exceeded and
And
completely.
I was
killed
super
it.
excited. I was really bummed out. So I left exactly how I left, feeling the same way that I did when I showed up. Essentially, they helped each other out. I was like, hey, Wheeler Walker, all right. That was pretty much it.
I think one that exceeded my expectations I saw, I don't remember how long ago, but Rob Zombie played in Brookings
Oh,
at the Swiftel Center. And that was phenomenal. It was such a good show.
Dragula!
Whatever. It exceeded my expectations. Fuck you all.
No, I love Rob Zombie. I just bought Hillbilly Deluxe on vinyl.
Yeah. I mean, I dig through the ditches and burn through the witches.
Slam
Slam in the back of my Dragula.
I went to a buddy of mine paid for me to fly out to Florida and hang out, with him for a couple of weeks, and we were, he was from California where I was from, and we were at a house party, and him and all his buddies pitched in to get me tickets to go to a concert, and I was already really in just punk rock and nothing else, and I didn't want to go, but they said we're all going. There's beer, there's weed. Let's go hang out. I'm like, oh, okay. And I got to go.
MAGA Flock Flame.
This was in Florida, and I got to go see Atari Teenage Riot, Wu-Tang Clan, and Rage Against the Machine in 1998.
Jeez.
And to this day is like one of the probably top 10 shows I've ever been to in my life. Like Wu-Tang Clan, everybody was there. It was phenomenal. Rage Against the Machine, it was right when Evil Empire came back, and I was not a fan of Evil Empire, but live, they were absolutely fantastic. We got busted by the U.S. Marshals for weed.
All right.
But they didn't throw us out.
There you go. Exceeded your expectations.
And,
Did they just
did
they confiscate it
They threw it. She took the joint from us.
and tucked it
and-
behind her ear?
No, and
You're like,
gave us the top, walked about 10 feet away, and threw it. So we obviously, as soon as we left, we went over there, got it. And,
it's just the worst plan ever. I'll never find it here.
yeah, but that was
16 feet away.
hands down was one of the. I mean, yeah, that was one of the best shows I think I've ever been to.
After AFI Sing the Sorrow came out, no one saw AFI.
Oh, I've been crying.
Yeah, I thought so,
No?
But you shit your pants.
but it was a horrible fucking show.
Damn.
Yeah, I thought so. Nothing. Baby Havoc was off key, and Jade couldn't play for shit. And it just wasn't good.
Yeah.
So that was one that was disappointing. I thought it was
Banging
going to be
heroin
really
will do
good.
that.
Huh?
Nothing.
What'd you say?
Said banging heroin will do that.
Yeah.
Oh, wait.
I have two one that exceeded and then one that disappointed me both within the last 2 months. Exceeded the Metallica show surprisingly surprised me at how intimate it was, even though there was 12,000 people.
Okay,
there.
yeah.
It's it was center in the middle of the auditorium
Mhm.
of Sanford, and Hetfield would run around on each corner and do vocals on each side of the stage, so it felt like he was right up front every time.
Yeah.
And the band would just rotate, and that was awesome.
Were you a fan of Metallica before that?
Casual fan.
Yeah.
And growing up, I listened to a lot more. I kind of stopped in junior high and just didn't really come back to it until this year. I'm like, I should refresh my memory and
Because
kind
load
of
and reload sucked.
Yeah, it's just like the singles off Load and Reload weren't bad, but the rest of the album was slow and boring and bluesy. I'm just like, this is not what I like about Metallica. And the
I-
set list was perfection.
Was it?
Like they played some new stuff, but it was blended in.
You're a
so it
fan of
wasn't-
Saint Anger, weren't you?
I kind of liked Frantic and Saint Anger the songs, but the rest of the album was just slow and just or weird and underproduced. I get what they were trying to go
I've
for.
never liked Metallica.
Yeah.
I'm just not a fan.
I was always a fan of the early stuff, just the
Yeah.
the thrash.
You like
Stuff.
Metallica, Brian?
Well, I grew up in the 90s, so yeah, kind of.
Brian, we're on the Dresch Code.
Didn't
Oh,
have much.
shit.
Where are we?
The show that disappointed me was Primus.
Oh, really?
I heard that
Yeah.
from
Oh, word.
yeah. So Camp in Skin of Our Teeth is a giant Primus fan, and he's like, they didn't play one song off of.
Camp Kirsch is in our musical circle jerk.
He's like they didn't play. He's like he said they did play a few off the Brown album, which is great, and he's like, and then they played pretty much everything off of that new album. That's just some theatrical fucking shit show. And
Goblins and stuff. They played the
Yeah,
whole album.
he's
front
like
to back.
he's like it was just not good. He's like it was bad. It was really really bad.
Nothing
And then
off
they-
Seas of Cheese or.
They played
No.
a couple.
No.
They played a medley of old
Oh,
songs,
that-
but it was
okay,
not even
that's
the
right.
full thing. A medley that just.
That's
went
what he
on stage,
said. Yeah, he said there was like they go into a song and then go into some circle jerk, and he's like, fuck, he was so bad.
Yeah. The opening band was far better,
Mhm.
and it was just like.
Hey, he's the same
Yeah,
thing.
Crown Lands is the name of them. They were like basically a Rush clone,
Mhm.
but not the '70s Rush. They dressed like 1975 Rush, and played a Rush song. So I'm just like,
A show that I had exceeded my expectations was for the 420 this year. It was actually a 419 show. We went to Red Rocks and saw it was supposed to be like 311 as a headliner, which we didn't stay for them because well whatever. I don't hate them, but I'm just like whatever. So 311, and then it was Prof, which is fucking awesome. There was Long Beach Dub All Stars, who were great. Then Method Man, Redman, and then Charlie Tuna from Jurassic 5 was there, and I can't remember. I think that was all of it. Prof. That was after he put out the Pookie Baby album, and it was unbelievable. Yeah, it was just super good. His Prof is great. And then Method Man, Redman, like those dudes are like 90. They're not gonna be around much longer. So I was like, oh, it's good to
They're
see these
still
guys.
good,
It's
though.
good to see Method Man, Redman. So yeah, it was really really good. I didn't know what to expect, just simply for the fact that it's like those dudes are getting long in the tooth, and like I knew Prof was gonna be good, which he was, but I wasn't sure about everything else. I was like, I don't know, but it was great. It was a great show.
Yeah.
And tickets weren't terrible. I think they were like $60, which is not bad at all for Red Rocks.
there was one this last spring I went to that exceeded. Jimmy Eat World played the first half,
Oh, yeah.
and that was solid. Like the concert I'd been to before that was Jack White, and the set list was garbage for Jack White. I'm just gonna play blues jams that no one gives a shit about for an hour
Just
and a
gonna
half.
noodle for an hour and a half.
Yeah.
Like, oh, thanks.
In fact, the first time I saw Jimmy Eat World was probably mid '90s.
Like Stag Prevails or
And like this is at this club in California, and this was before their breakout, and it was really cool because they just really they put on a really good personable show,
Yeah.
and really seemed to enjoy what they did.
they're a band
So-
that you can tell cares about the fans. Like,
yeah,
they
yeah,
play,
they've for as big as that little brief period that they got, I think they wore it well and kind of still tried to do
Yeah.
what they were doing before.
they've even
So-
said like they're grateful for any chance they had to keep touring and like
Well, now they're old as fuck, so apparently.
yeah.
Yeah.
No
pretty
wonder.
much.
I was a giant fan of like the self-titled that was on Fueled by Ramen, like that album with the old radio on the front.
Oh yeah.
That album it's like hard to find anymore. I've got a copy of it at home, but yeah, that album was really really good, pretty gritty and
I love.
Bottom line, it's come to the point where we're all getting to the age like, you're still playing? God, good job.
Good for you.
Good job.
way to go, guy.
You do you.
Yeah, good job.
We're not exactly inspiring any future musicians on the show tonight, are we?
Say to hell. Say go to hell with that
Yeah.
installation of cable job. Fuck it, keep touring.
Yep.
Don't
Yep.
be an adult.
You got a solid job? Just
Yeah.
quit. You'll be
Quit
able to
that thing.
get a job when you get back from tour,
Quit that.
making
thing.
no money.
Yeah.
It's kind of like Jack. Sorry to segue again. but Jack White's encore was like one of his random stupid electronic folk songs he played on his new album.
Yeah.
Closed with that, said, "Good night, Omaha. I don't give a fuck." And then
Did he
Jimmy,
really?
No, he didn't say that, but
Oh,
like
that
I got that
that
vibe
would've
from him.
Fantastic.
I
Like,
thought you were gonna
That's
say.
what I heard the Primus show ended like. Let's staple
Yeah,
going.
yeah.
Nah.
Thank you. See ya.
yeah, he literally did not speak at all except once between one of the songs, and that was it. He did didn't speak at all the rest of the show.
But at the same time, it makes me think like, dude's pretty up there in age,
It's just a
and
paycheck.
how much acid has he eaten in his entire life? He's probably like, probably can't speak much anymore.
Yeah.
I don't know.
as many trips as he's probably
It's
gone
one
on.
of it's one of the, I mean, as a musician, it's one of those things that like there was no matter how big you get, there is no excuse for not giving a show
Yeah,
100%.
not being
agree.
humble at some.
You know, you may
Some
not
truth.
be able to give the same 100% you gave when you were 20, but the effort should. Yeah, come on.
Yeah,
If you give 50, the rest of us give 75, 80, I say we're all right.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
I'm all right. I said about the tip of my neck. Yeah.
Roscoe P. Coltrane.
one last show that exceeded my expectations. I saw Motion City Soundtrack in first half with Say Anything, Saves the Day, and Valencia, and that was like a solid just 3 hours.
I would say anything. Were they really good?
At the time, great.
Yeah.
Um,
How long was that?
8 years ago?
Oh yeah.
2010. So like Say Anything's last good album
Mhm.
that they put out before Max went nuts, like literal nuts, and just
I think it
kinda-
went nuts a long time ago, but
Yeah, like more of the weird nuts where it's like I'm sober and I'm just gonna put out weird stuff,
yeah.
and like
Don't get sober. I mean, why would you do that?
Yeah.
I mean, if something's going good and you're drunk and high,
just record the album high and then
Keep
go
it
sober. Like tour when you're sober and then
I mean,
like,
yeah, Metallica. What the fuck?
don't ruin your career by going sober.
That's rude. That's rude.
That's, yeah. But yeah, it was a solid show front. to
I
back.
love people getting their lives together, but Saint Anger was horseshit.
Yeah.
I applaud Recovery in any shape
Yeah,
or form,
yeah.
but that album was garbage. So, okay, next question.
Next one.
Yeah, we're not being as
Kick the
judgmental as
shit
we
out of
should
that
be,
horse.
but
All right.
yeah.
This one involves Van Halen. I'm just gonna immediately fail.
Okay,
that
good,
one.
good. Thank you.
You're learning.
Covered all of that.
Lucas is like, hey.
Reggae, why or why not? But mainly, why not?
Mainly, why not? That must be worth talking
I'm
about.
gonna fail.
Fail it. All right.
Uh,
Oops. Sorry.
I'll interject really quick because I really like reggae.
I get it.
You would.
So I would, and I don't even smoke weed. So
Okay, I like this one.
Bad brains. I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
fuck yes.
If you could have any dream double headlining bill, who would it be and why?
Double headlining bill. Like, wait, are
Like
we
co-headliners, like
are we
two
one of
two
the
big
headliners?
bands, or like just any band that
Just
you're a
any-
fan of.
Oh, okay. So
Two bands.
So two bands playing
That
that
you
you
see
really
front to back. Yeah, do co-headlines.
ISIS and Cave In.
Ooh,
Oh,
good one.
that's good.
Yeah.
I'll never see that ever again. ISIS and Cave
Rancid
In.
and propaganda.
That'd be a good one.
Mhm.
Be a good one. I mean, I got to see Rancid and Off, and that was like about as good as it gets for me.
I'm gonna say Face to Face and Millencolin.
Oh, that's half good.
Which half?
Good job, some of you.
Which half are you talking about?
Wow, Face to Face is good.
You don't like Millencolin?
Melancholy. This is melancholy. It's
What's wrong with
melancholy.
Millencolin's
It's
amazing.
alright.
Life on a Plate. I like that album.
It's so good.
But
The
outside of
last
that,
one that came True Brew. Fuck you guys.
I
Life
would
on a Plate.
see At the
quit.
Drive-In and Fugazi.
Eh,
That'd be good.
I got to see At the Drive-In at a club, and it was fantastic. But what I will say, I mean, going back, getting to see them separately, but being able to go back and see them together, I would say I would probably say early At the Drive-In and Murder City Devils first
Yeah.
album together,
That'd be really good.
because the last show I saw Murder City at before they broke up, they played Idle Hands off in Name and Blood,
Yeah.
and Cedric came out and sang Idle Hands,
Nice.
and it was phenomenal. And from what I remember of the show, because I was probably somewhat incoherent, it was life-changing.
Murder City Devils just played, actually, Angarot from Sioux Falls here. They actually just played out in Somerset with Murder City Devils at a show here.
I saw pictures from that. That looked like it was pretty neat.
Carcass was up there, but yeah.
Carcass.
City, I love Mercy
Mercy
Devils.
Devils and Carcass on the same bill.
So,
Oh, God,
Carcass,
that's fine,
tried to fly over. They all got through, but the bassist couldn't make it through. For whatever reason, they're like, nope. The customs said no. Like, sent his ass back. They're like, oh, well, thanks. But yeah.
Weird Al and They Might Be Giants. That'd be pretty dope.
Oh,
The whitest and nerdiest audience of all time.
No, for
guaranteed.
sure.
I'd be front and center.
Think of how many masters in mathematics degrees.
okay, if we're gonna get really weird, I would say Faith No More and the Locust.
Oh, that'd
There
be
you go.
cool. And then a quick little Dead
The
Cross
Locust.
combo.
Oh yeah, Dead Cross, absolutely Dead Cross. I mean, everything Mike Patton has done is gold.
Yeah.
When you
some
can
stuff
play,
with the Dillinger Escape Plan too.
and yeah, and he's done some
Mr.
shit with
Bungle?
Italian opera singers.
Mr.
and-
Bungle?
Yeah, oh, Mr. Bungle.
Bubbles.
Mr. Butthole.
You didn't miss it.
Great double headliner. Wolfmother and Greta Van Fleet, bands that want to be Led Zeppelin.
Yeah, 100%.
I would have walked out. Probably.
Oh, man. Yeah, camps, whatever. Someone related to camp. I don't even know how that would work because there aren't any marriages or anything there. However, that would all work. Like, Christy's daughter's boyfriend is like the most giant Greta Van Fleet fan. Like, he just every 3 words he's having a conversation with you. He's like, "So how was your day today, Greta Van Fleet?" You're like, "What the fuck are you talking about? It's not my name." "Oh, I know you're Greta Van Fleet. Your name's not Greta Van Fleet." I'm like, Jesus Christ. We got it.
Greta Van Fleet.
I can honestly say I don't think I've ever heard.
Who the fuck is Greta Van Fleet?
A new band.
You
Oh,
would
it's a
think,
band?
you would
It's not
think
a-
it's
it's not a
you would
singer?
think
No.
it's like a mid-20s girl who's
Yeah.
awesome at acoustic guitar. Nope. It's like some dudes who are trying to be Led Zeppelin.
And the band has had the balls to say they've never been influenced by
Yeah,
Led
yeah.
Zeppelin. I'm like,
Shut the fuck up.
Okay.
either own it or don't do it. Like,
No.
I guess I'm behind the times.
We grew up on Slayer, bro. Get out of here.
we listen to a lot of Southern culture on the skids.
yeah. No, man, super suckers, man. We're big into those guys.
Oh,
All right,
Jesus.
cool.
Next one.
Yeah,
All right.
let's roll through.
Collaborations that have never happened that you wish would happen. All right.
I'm the only one who voted.
Yeah. No.
What is one artist that gets a lot of crap that you actually love? Yeah. Okay.
Lady Gaga.
Lady Gaga. I guess.
Yeah.
She gets so much shit, but like, she's punk rock as fuck. Lady Gaga.
Yeah.
I like
I'm a
it.
fan. Buzz likes Slayer, apparently. Hi, Buzz.
I love Slayer.
And Justin Bieber.
Really?
He gets a lot of shit, but he just doesn't give a fuck.
For me, I
He
just
just
I
does
don't
what he wants to do, and I like that.
I don't care for Bieber because I've heard he's such a garbage human being. to
Oh,
other
yeah, I
people.
bet he is.
Like I heard from Bill Hader told a story about when Bieber hosted SNL that like Bieber had like 6 bodyguards around him at all times, like one guy holding his pizza and one guy holding his Diet Coke. And Justin Timberlake hosted the next month. He had no bodyguards, like just class act by
hanging
himself.
out,
Yeah.
But
Timberlake seems fucking cool.
Yeah.
I'd hang out with him.
Yeah.
Justin Bieber is what would happen if I got money. I mean, 100%.
Would you cut your hair like that?
I'd be alright with that.
Yeah.
If I was in on it.
Hold my pizza, bitch.
Yeah, I'll fucking hold your pizza.
You hold my soda. Hold my dick.
if you're paying crispy hundreds, crispy hundreds, I mean, it's cool. We do this.
But I think that the kid is just. I mean, he's doing the best with what he. I mean, he's grown up in the limelight, and
Yeah.
you know, I don't know.
He's handled it better in the last couple of years.
It's all
especially.
of our faults for buying his shit. And
Wait, I've never
saying-
bought a shit.
Well, no, I'm just saying, us in general, as culture,
Yeah.
we all buy his albums and stroke his ego, so it's all our fault.
I forgot the question. We've had lots of beers.
Artists that get a lot of crap that you actually love.
Okay.
Yeah. Try
I
it.
mean,
Hunter Johnson.
Johnson.
Yeah, that's our singer.
Hall and Oates.
They get crap?
I get crap for like being a cheesy '80s band. I think.
I
I
like
don't know. Oh yeah, I love Hall and Oates.
Next one.
Next one.
Okay.
Rock this shit up, man.
Weirdest song you've ever heard at a supermarket.
You wrote that because you work at Hy-Vee, but I'm gonna say no.
Fuck.
Shitting all over me.
I actually,
All
I
right,
agree.
roll it.
we can bypass it. But the weirdest one I ever heard, I heard "Angel of Death" from Slayer at a supermarket.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was. I mean, it was
Your ears
enough to
pretty
make
good.
me.
You're like,
I mean, it was enough to make me stop and go, "Wow, cool." Then I just went on with my
was it just
business.
the instrumental? Like,
Well, no, I mean it was California, and I mean I was buying beer, and
I heard.
I was like, "This is rad." Okay, now I'm gonna go on with my day.
I'm excited.
I heard Frank Turner it's like either a restaurant or a grocery store or something one time. I was like, huh,
Yeah, they play The Way I Tend to Be.
that was what it was. Yeah, it
Yeah,
was
they
a
play,
Hy-Vee.
that's like the most radio-friendly Frank Turner song
Huh.
that you could possibly
Okay.
hear.
So it must have been a Hy-Vee, and I was
Yeah,
like,
they
I
play
stopped.
At the end of Wedding Crashers, they play the fuck is it? Weaker Than song, and I'm like, what the fuck?
So good.
Like, what?
Anthony introduced me to the Weekend, and it's not too long ago. They're amazing.
If there's a Smoking Pope song in Tommy Boy,
Yeah.
No,
pretty
yeah.
awesome. My Lucky Day.
And that's another band that nobody
All
probably.
right, so for
fucking
you,
remembers.
what's the most odd thing that you've heard?
They played Bodies by Smashing Pumpkins at Hy-Vee last year, the week that our store director was on vacation. They were playing 90s songs, 90s rock bands, and they played, you would think with a 90s playlist, you'd probably hear 1979, which is a radio-friendly song, but they played Bodies, which is like a really aggressive, Corgan screaming a lot song,
Sure
like,
is.
nobody. So I'm like, oh,
I want to hear "Fuck the Police" in Walmart.
that'd be great.
Yeah,
Walmart, play "Fuck the
No.
Police."
Easy E in my automobile.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. My automobile, so good.
It's great.
I mean, my cousin, when I was a kid, my cousin used to, because he's probably like 5 years older than me. Yeah, I remember I was like a 6th grader or something, and he was in high school, and he'd fucking pick me up in his Cavalier, and he put a new deck and some speakers in his Cavalier. He'd come pick me up, and we listen to that shit all the time. I remember I just think I was cool as shit. Just I walk away, yeah, fucking right. Listening to NWA and fucking Easy and all that shit. Just like,
Problem is, I play NWA for my kids, and they don't think they're cool at all.
no, because they listen.
Why
to
can you
they
understand
listen
what
to
he's
shitty
saying?
mumble rap.
He needs to mumble.
What
That's
the,
how I know.
What the
That's,
fuck
that's
is
how
that
I know
anyway?
I'm old.
Mumble rap. Good Christ. It's trash.
You can't really.
Good one, is that good?
Oh, dude,
I
it's
mean,
so bad.
dude,
You ever heard that Hobson
Oh.
song where he shits all over him? Oh, it's the best.
all I know, dude, Wu-Tang showed up on Jimmy Kimmel, and I was like overjoyed. I heard people going, "Who's this?"
What?
Mm.
Put a little baby powder in your hand.
We're turning
Get
into
ready.
We're turning into.
Where my baby powder at? Mhm.
My parents didn't like Wu-Tang.
Yeah, but they liked Phil Collins.
It's because they didn't
No,
know
Who the
that.
fuck is this guy?
It's because they didn't know that Wu-Tang Clan wasn't anything to fuck with.
Wu-Tang's
That's
for
why.
the children.
Yeah, they
My
didn't know that
kids, my
either.
kids like it.
They didn't know Wu-Tang.
Well, it's because we're trying to raise good kids.
Need to diversify your bombs.
Yeah, diversity.
Mhm.
Old dirty Chinese restaurant.
Which is all.
Next, next,
one.
next.
Which cleaner film would you be curious to see in R-rated form?
Oh,
Which
I'll talk
one?
about this one.
yeah, let's
The
go.
What,
Notebook.
what clean like G-rated
The
film? would you-
Notebook.
Toy Story.
Yeah.
If the boot fucking fits.
Yeah. The Notebook where he just doesn't put up with her shit. Just fucking. What's the super iconic one with Tom Hanks in it?
Big.
Forrest Gump.
Big.
Forrest Gump. Forrest Gump when he totally isn't that super nice dumb guy. And he just is like every situation he's like just gets angry.
He's got Tourette's.
Yeah.
Where the
Yeah,
fuck
yeah,
is
yeah.
Lieutenant Dan?
Tourette's.
Mama's alive.
Jenny,
like
get the fuck out of here.
I bought you some chocolate.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Suck my dick, Jenny.
I bought you some chocolates. They might have poison in them. It's possible they have poison in them.
He told JFK,
Yeah.
fuck.
Yeah.
Pocahontas.
Pocahontas. Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh.
Isn't the real story fucked up
There
enough?
you go. Yeah.
Alright. Pocahontas is 12.
Man,
John Smith
got
is
the bladder of a
30.
9-year-old girl.
Yeah.
That would be R-rated.
Yeah, that's fucking American history for you right there.
Which R-rated film would you want to see clean? That's
Oh,
American
man.
History X would be
American
hilarious.
history, yeah.
Like,
Pulp Fiction.
oh yeah. I just shot him in the face. You don't even show it. Oh, I just punched his arm.
Old boy. Old boy.
Yeah.
That was the worst fucking movie I've ever seen.
Which one? The American version? Or
I never saw the original one. I saw the American one. Oh, I heard this was good. And at the end of the movie, me and my wife looking at each other and going like, "What the fuck just happened?"
I don't know. I like that movie.
Movie is fucked up.
It's fucked up, but
It
it's
is
good.
fucked up.
A Swedish film. Never mind.
Oh, okay.
Don't Google it.
All right.
Err.
Like, next one.
Woo child.
Woo child.
Woo child.
Probably
These
one
are
more
going-
these
topic,
are gonna
and
be
then we'll
great.
Do one more
Did
topic.
you just
so
poop?
Cool.
Woo child. Okay.
we'll do one more topic and we'll call it good.
All right.
Faults. I probably feel this one. Do you think VHS will ever go back in style? Yeah. And that one always creeps in every episode, and I just don't know why.
I mean, I'd be okay with it, but
Best Weird Al song?
Oh,
Who put that in there?
Me. Fail it.
That's
yeah.
I
No,
was gonna say.
another one rides the bus.
Yeah.
Probably.
Got a briefcase Pokemon.
What is one genre of music that you don't
Another one
understand,
rides
either
bus.
musically or why it's popular?
Mumble rap.
Mumble rap.
Mumble rap.
Mumble rap.
There's our question.
yeah.
Is there anyone besides mumble rap that you could? Modern country pop is for me. I just
Oh,
don't get
No,
it.
it's
Oh,
just
yeah, I mean,
I,
that's-
I understand it
Bro country.
completely.
Yeah,
Bro
bro
country.
country. Yeah.
No, I understand
the
that.
best way I ever heard it put, and it was who was it? I think it was Waylon Jennings' kid, and he's like
Shooter.
Shooter Jenny.
he said bro country is rap music for people who are scared of black people.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
That's pretty good.
Is that on Joe
That's
Rogan?
pretty good.
Huh?
I think that was on Joe Rogan, wasn't it?
That was when Wheeler Walker was talking about. He was like talking about that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was talking to someone about how Joe Rogan. I love Joe Rogan. He can keep a conversation going for 3 hours, but he just kind of repeats what the person said. Like,
Yeah, he's a little.
like someone will be like, yeah, I just really struggle
Well,
with
and that's just
depression.
it. He has people on there with egos that just like they tell this long elaborate story about themselves, and he's like, and it ends with just like, so I went to the ocean, and Joe's like, so you went to the ocean, and then they just like go, and he just lets them like hang themselves.
Depression's like you just can't get up. And
Hey,
you
here,
just can't-
smoke this weed.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And then you get fired. Fuck you, Elon Musk.
Seriously, Elon Musk just had this vibe like he's a robot that's trying to hide everything.
It was the most.
Yeah.
It was the most odd interview I've ever
Yeah.
heard. in my life.
Tom DeLonge on there.
That
Oh,
was.
that
the-
was you.
I couldn't watch
Look,
after 10 minutes.
That was
like,
that
yeah.
was odd too.
I listened to the whole thing because that's when I was driving nights back and forth from Sioux City in the semi, and I listened to that. I listened to the whole thing. And I was just pissed by the time I was done.
Mhm.
I can't tell you, man.
I can't get into that.
Why the fuck are you here?
Yeah.
Why are you here?
know that
everything. Can't tell you, man.
Now that everything.
Everything-
Sorry, bro. I can't tell you that. Turn the lights off. Maybe I'll say it tomorrow. No. Clock. Buy into my space program.
Backwards baseball cops.
Bye, yeah.
Have you
Jim and
seen
him
it?
and
It's like space program though. We did an episode of my kind of knockoff of Coast to Coast AM called Macabre Grimoire. We like researched his like whole space program thing. Like it's like his background. You know, he's like the CEO and the head guy on the website. And it's just like totally fucked. It's just like, okay, so why the fuck is he here? And then the people under him are like former director of the CIA, former director of the NSA, like 3 former directors of NASA. It's just like, Jesus Christ.
Tom DeLonge wrote "Aliens Do Exist."
That's just.
Well, he hasn't been assassinated yet, so they don't think he's a threat.
It's like, do your thing.
Yeah.
Do your thing, buddy.
So before the show ends, we do shameless plugs. We have a show coming up. Any other talk? Let's talk about the show a little bit.
Yeah, we're doing a show next Friday, the 26th at Club David, 7 p.m.
25 or 26. We're all bad with numbers.
Yeah, we are.
Pretty sure it's 26.
26.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, it's 26.
We got some amazing prizes for costume contest for
Yeah.
Halloween.
That's true.
Nice.
Cool stuff.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody knows what they are.
Hunter did, but he didn't show up because he's a bitch.
Did he son?
But yeah, so the 26th at Club David, 7 p.m. We got a
Let's see if we can find it. Before the show, we can find it.
It's on Facebook. Look
It is.
up.
It's on the internet.
You can win anything from $25 to
A new car.
a new car.
We don't have a new car, guys.
It's a used. It's a used Buick.
That's false.
Are
But
we-
it's a
are we-
sweet ass Buick.
Are we winning Hunter's car?
Yeah.
An electric Lilac PT Cruiser.
We
An
got
electric.
But no, we got
300,000 miles.
We're not giving away a car.
No,
It's not.
Why is this thing being so
Unless
slow?
it's a toy car.
That's a lie.
It's a Hot Wheels.
We've got a Viking chair.
Power
yeah.
It's being given away as a prize. We got some wallets. We got
Wallets.
Whose
There's
wallets? I don't know. Some
$50,
guys.
What, $50
$50 Club David.
Club David,
One
bar tab. What was it? All the bands are putting stuff in like a merch package.
Des Daily Designs at Des
Yep.
Daily Designs is giving away like a cosplay photo shoot.
Yep, photo
Oh,
shoot.
sweet.
So that'd be cool.
I want to win that shit for sure.
That'll be mine.
Show.
That's
And we're playing for the first time in years. So
for a while.
What was the last show?
I don't know.
Through
When was
4
the
years
last
ago?
show?
3 or 4 years ago?
Last that whack show?
Yeah, down at
I wasn't in the band.
what was it? Latitude. It was at Latitude. Latitude was still open then.
Oh, okay.
R.I.P.
So yeah, it's been at least 4 years probably.
R.I.P.
I wasn't in the
Right.
state yet, so I don't know any about.
Yeah.
It's been a while. It's been a couple of years.
3 or 4 years ago.
But yeah, so Lucas with K.
Lucas of the Quay, Odd Life's playing,
The Odd Life.
Skin of Our Teeth, and Pass the Flask from
That's
Fargo.
they're amazing.
They haven't been down here for a little while.
So yeah,
Those
we're
guys are
we're
great.
back doing our thing and start writing new music, put out new albums, put out videos, and play shows.
Awesome. Any other shameless plugs you guys want to share coming up?
I can't think of it.
Halloween's pretty soon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actual Halloween.
Mhm.
Thanksgiving's after
I'll
that.
do that.
Mhm.
Oh, are you? Do you have any shows?
People should
Uh,
pray we get home safely.
I'll be handing out candy to kids as the flu bug this coming weekend.
Nice.
It'll be fun. And I have a show in Fargo November 10th. It's like a Fargo versus Sioux Falls comedy thing. So it's
That'd be
like
cool.
a battle competition. So like me and Skylar Bullock and Dan Bublitz were competing with like Mitch Ryerson, Jan Severson, and a couple other
That'd be
Fargo
neat.
comedy
Nice.
stuff.
We did that once at Latitude with Pass the Flask and the other band.
North Dakota versus South Dakota.
Yeah,
It's fun to do those. It's really cool.
it is cool.
I like that stuff. But yeah, thank you guys so much.
Well,
thank you,
thank you.
Adam,
Sure.
David,
Thanks for having us.
Brian,
Thank you
and
very
fun
much.
show.
Appreciate it.
And it was a fun episode 13 of Dresch Code.
Absolutely.
And tomorrow night we're doing a rare 2-night in a row kind of thing. Our guests will be Caitlin Warrenson, White Boy, and Brian Hoffman. So it's gonna be a fun episode. So thank
Brian
you guys.
Hoffman.
And you've been listening to
The Dresch Code.
Dresch Code.